Love and greetings to you. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. Welcome to our channel. This is where we learn more about marriage than the actual topic, I have to tell you, because usually the topic reflects something within the marriage that is more important than the topic itself. For instance, in this case, I caught my husband lying to me. You know, we all know that everybody lies a little bit, and some people lie more than others. Some people lie about big things, and we don't like to be lied to. When we get married, we have this expectation that we're going to be treated so well and respected so much because we get married to be happy. Isn't it true? You fell in love with your soulmate, he's the one, and you don't want him to be lying to you. And so we have to understand that there are some people who are compulsive liars. They're lying all the time, and there's no need for them to lie. It always comes from the same place. It comes from fear. It is part of the self-preservation module within us. Fight or fly. This is flying. This is a form of running away. And so when he lied to you, there was a reason for it. I'm not excusing it, merely explaining the mechanics of a lie. And so in your own marriage, the real question is not, oh my God, what do I do? My husband lied. The real question is, why does he not feel so comfortable with you that he does something that he doesn't want to share with you? It's easy to blame him. That's what most therapists do. Of course, I'm not a therapist. I used to be a divorce mediator before I started helping couples with their marriages. And so I know all about lies, trust me. But you have to remember that if he felt comfortable with you, and it's not your fault that he doesn't, he would be less likely to lie. So maybe he did something that he knows he shouldn't have, and so he lied to you. The real question is, why would he do something that he shouldn't have? And let's not blame him. Now, on one hand, I say we don't blame you. Now we say let's not blame him. Because what I discovered when I started helping my first couple, who actually came to me for a divorce and then said, can you help us save our marriage? And I did a deep dive into marriage. How does it work? What's this all about? And since then, I worked with hundreds of couples and individuals and developed a process that's based on very different principles than what you find from, say, couples counseling. So what we try to do here at the Marriage Foundation, what I started doing was I asked the question, why did you get married in the first place? This is important to you. Why did you get married in the first place? Because that should determine how you behave within your marriage. And generally speaking, if just one of you is behaving the way you're meant to in your marriage, the other will come along and do it the same way. That's why we have in our courses, we have one for men and one for women. So here's what's really going on. What's really going on is that you got married to be happy. You got married to experience divine love, marital love, unconditional love. And you got married to harmoniously be with your soulmate for the rest of your lives. But you didn't know. So we never get an education like this in society. We actually learn about marriage from the movies, of all things, and from articles, and it's all wrong what we learn, because it's based in Western psychology instead of based in how do you get happy, how do you experience love, and how do you create harmony. That's what it should be based in. So what we do within our marriage should all be geared towards those things. And it begins with us as an individual learning to love our spouse unconditionally. Not just show the love, but learning how to love. And you might say, are you crazy? I know how to love. No, we don't. We don't, because we're not taught. We go, oh, I fell in love. Oh, I'm in love. But we don't realize that we can be doing those things that build the love, that cultivate the love, cultivate the devotion, creating this environment of love that we call our marriage. That's what's necessary. So if your husband is lying to you, it means you don't have that marriage. What can you do about it? Well, maybe I haven't convinced you yet of what I'm talking about. So let's talk about something that will help you understand better, okay? So we don't, and again, it's not your fault. So you use the term, oh, I love this dress, oh, I love the Cowboys if you live in Texas, I love this, I love that. But we don't learn how to cultivate the love between ourselves and our husband. We think it should just be there. And we don't learn the background knowledge of why it isn't just there and overwhelming us with happiness all the time, which is what a marriage is meant to be. You're supposed to be happy in your marriage all the time. What's going on? What's going on is you're a soul. This is not a religious discussion, don't worry. You're a soul. You have a body. You have a mind. But you're essentially this spiritual entity called the soul. You don't have one. You are one. But you also have a body. You also have a mind. And because we're not taught this, we're not taught about the relationship between these three entities, which comprise us. And so we get blindsided by what's going on. And what's going on is that the body, which is biological, which is comprised of trillions of individual cells, all of which are striving for self-preservation. We call it the drive to survive. Each one of the trillions of cells, you put them together into a body, and now you have this massive body with intelligence. It has intelligence, not that it could think, but it has intelligence, and it's telling the mind, be wary, be careful, don't do this, don't do that. And so you, the soul, instead of living your life of love, are constantly listening to your mind. And the mind is telling you, oh, be concerned, be worried. And the mind is a machine of sorts. It doesn't even understand love. It doesn't know love. It's just a machine. You, the soul, is who experiences love. And you need to cultivate that love in steps. And this is what we do, by the way, in our programs. So the first step is learning how to master the mind. Where have you ever heard that before? You don't. We're not taught it, but these are the things I discovered. You have to master the mind. And I even have a technique for it called the SO technique. I should say we have a technique at the Marriage Foundation called the SO technique. It's incredible. And you begin with that. You don't let doubts interfere. You don't let concerns of his fidelity interfere. You don't let anger interfere. In fact, you learn how to banish anger from your mind, you entirely. So there's no more anger there. And that's what our students do. They get rid of the anger. They get rid of the fear and all of the fear-induced thoughts and ideas and feelings. For instance, the feeling of discouragement which comes up. You don't feel that anymore when you have learned the sew technique. It's no longer part of your life because you sew it away. And you replace it with feelings of love. And so you become a different person. And as a result, your marriage becomes a different marriage. And as a result, you and your husband start living in this joy. You've heard the term marital bliss, but nobody really gets it. And it's a real thing. And it's something you're supposed to have. You're supposed to strive towards having. So, if your husband lied to you, back off for a minute and take a look at your marriage as a whole. And don't do, well, I am like this with him, why isn't he like that? Don't do that part. Look at your marriage as a whole. Do we have marital bliss? You don't. Do we have happiness? Sometimes, but not enough. Do we have connection where we're walking around feeling that love all the time? No, because if you did, this would not have come up. Do we have harmony? To some degree, but not enough. We have this amazing thing called marriage. Imagine if you got this amazing thing called a Lamborghini, but you didn't know how to drive it. Let's say that you never saw an airplane and someone handed you the keys to an airplane, or you saw airplanes but you never saw one on the ground, and someone gave you an airplane on the ground and you got in it, you wouldn't even know how to get it off the ground. And this is how we are with marriage. And so this is why we're here, to teach you. This is why you subscribe to the channel. But also, if you want to go further, not everyone does. Many people are changing their marriages just by being subscribers, and they're learning about marriage for the first time. And it's helping them so much. It makes me so happy. This is a foundation. I'm doing this to help change the world, one marriage at a time. Because guess what? If you're happy, your husband is happy, and the people around you are happy, and it spreads. What could be better than that? Our life's experiences should all drive us towards seeking happiness. It's all we want. We just want to be happy. We don't want to be supermen and superwomen. We just want to be happy. And marriage is an amazing vehicle for happiness. I think it's one of God's greatest gifts to us mortals. And it's about time we started learning about marriage. Again, I'm Paul Friedman. Like this video. I'm glad you stopped by. I pray that I've helped you. Again, we're not religious. I can say I pray, right? It's okay to love God. It's okay to talk to Him, commune with Him. You don't have to be a religious fanatic. You don't even have to have a religion. Your relationship with God should be very clearly open and loving. It's part of being married too. When you really get it, you realize, wow, this didn't just appear. This is part of His creation. God bless you. Thank you for stopping by. Hope to see you. I love you. Take care.